BMRforum.com and BMRodds.com. What is going on, boys? What is going on? Welcome back to episode number 44 of The Lobby. As you can see, one of the wonderful co-hosts here is definitely in the Christmas spirit with his Christmas jingle balls hanging down very low. Mr. Sam's in charge. What's up, Sammy?
I'll give him a squeeze for you, Bobby. Cough for me, please, one time. Thanks. Yeah, rocking the Santa with the beer, ugly sweater. Ugly sweaters for the next couple shows, Gotta rock them. Got them in the closet. Gotta wear them.
That's right. That's right. I'm glad to see you. You came out of the closet there, Sam.
Once every morning.
Next is Mr. Pipe. What's going on, Pipe? How you doing today?
How's it going, man? How y'all doing?
Good.
Doing good,
right
man.
on.
Glad to have you back this week. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Donnie Rightside. What's up, Donnie?
Good to be on the festive atmosphere. Sammy had Santa smoking last week. Now he's got him drinking this week. Who knows what Santa's going to be doing next week on the show here. But we got a lot to go over. Shohei Ohtani, I know we'll hit that topic in just a little bit. The NFL, you like parity in the NFL? You got it, because just about every team is making a playoff push, except those New England Patriots.
And actually, Donnie, let's start with that since you brought up the Patriots. Rumors out there that Bill Belichick will be done at the end of the season. What do you think? You think he's going anywhere after his tenure in New England?
I mean, I think there's probably a chance that they do separate. We heard those, squawkings a couple weeks ago. They calmed down, but it's a conversation just between the owner and Belichick, so you doubt there's really any slip-ups. But if that is the case, that Bill Belichick is going to be on his way, why are you letting him win football games here late in the season to sabotage your draft status here? If you know Bill Belichick is on the move here, you might as well just pull the plug on it right now. The case that he wins a couple more games down the stretch and you don't get the quarterback that you desire in the draft, that's terrible all the way around.
Yes, very much so. And Donnie, hypothetically, if he is gone after the season, who is New England bringing in there?
I would say Gerard Mayo, who they've actually really liked as an assistant coach, almost like a head coach in waiting here. I bet you they keep it in-house and Mayo gets lifted up to that, head coach role.
All right, thank you. Let's see if that prediction comes to play. Sammy, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I thought earlier in the year they were talking about extending his contract, and then 4 weeks later and 4 loss later, now all of a sudden they're talking about dropping him. I think everyone has seen his performance dropping over the last 5 years, especially with the loss of Tom Brady. Everyone's really saying that Brady is more of the reason that he's successful more than him. Overall, he's still a great coach, but sometimes your tenure has run its course, and sometimes it's both beneficial to both parties to move on. What do I think afterwards? I mean, Belichick could retire. I mean, there's really nothing for him to prove. So I think if he were to leave New England, he should just go off in the sunset and retire. Nothing wrong with that.
No, I agree, especially at his age. I don't see him going anywhere else. I agree with you there, Sam. Pipe, what do you think?
I think he stays. I think I really don't believe that this is the end. I mean, he is only, 15 games behind Shula. I think he wants that more than anything. I really think if we can get a quarterback, he stays. I believe he stays.
Even after New England's bad start?
Yeah, even after their bad start. I mean, when have you seen them this bad? I mean, he's a defensive coach. We all know that. But, sometimes you don't have the people in-house to help you, as in players or coaches.
All right. Well, we will definitely see what happens and it's some interesting developments up there in New England for sure. Sammy, what do you got for us today in NBA? What do you like on the hardwood?
Yeah, so I think in reference to NBA, you should just fade the following teams that have a combined 8 wins on the season, which are the Detroit Pistons, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Washington Wizards. And realistically, one of the Wizards' wins was against the Pistons. The Pistons have lost 20 straight, and the Spurs have lost 17 straight. So 37 straight losses combined. If you look at the 76ers tonight, they're a 12-point spread. So, you can't really take them on the money line, but are you going to take them on the spread? And then actually you got the Lakers tonight -3.5 against the Spurs. So a short number betting against the Spurs. Lakers are off back-to-back, but it's hard to bet the Spurs. Wemby had a small ankle injury a couple nights ago. So nothing really positive in any of those cities, and definitely the teams to be betting against.
When those 3 teams, definitely the Spurs stand out to me as a real shocker. I mean, Detroit, Washington, those I could deal with, but San Antonio, that's a real surprise that they're on such a big downward slump right here.
Yeah, I mean, everyone expecting Wemby just to turn that team around, just like LeBron James did in Cleveland. Sometimes it takes more than one person, one player, one season, but the expectations were certainly high there. And, I mean, he is performing well. Chet Holmgren's actually favorite in Rookie of the Year over him, but he's still having a great year. He's exceeding some of the expectations, but everyone expected their team to win. So stat-wise, he's doing well, but team-wise, they're not doing well.
What do you like tonight in the NBA?
Me? Who'd you say?
Donnie, yep.
Yeah, but by the way, just to piggyback on that point there with San Antonio, like Wembanyama would be the favorite to be Rookie of the Year if they just weren't historically bad to start the season. They got a long way to go, but I don't think we would have saw them this bad. And also, the Detroit Pistons, by the way, they were expected to make a playoff push this year, which is why he signed a coach to a monster contract, figuring he's the last piece of the puzzle to sort of start that rebuild and go in the right direction. They're epically bad. And then the Washington Wizards, like, I'm 46 years old. Like, have the Wizards ever been good in my lifetime? It feels like they stink every single year, and they're in the bottom of the basement. But tonight, there is a couple spots I like. Indiana Pacers, Milwaukee Bucks. The pace should be there for a total. But 258.5, 257.5, you get one quarter at 27-23. They're not hitting that. So I'm just going to lean to the under because that number is ridiculously high. Game number 2, the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant expected to be in the starting lineup tonight. I know it's a back-to-back, but it's a home back-to-back. They should be fine tonight. I think they beat up on the Brooklyn Nets. I'll lay the 4.5 points here with the Phoenix Suns tonight. That's where I'm looking.
All right. Good luck with those, Donnie. Pipe, you got anything in the NBA?
Yeah, I like that Houston Memphis under 211. I think that's going to be more like a defensive game. I don't think they get there. And I also like the Bucks minus 6.5 against Pacers. I think they cover that spread easily.
All right. Good luck with those, Pipe. Sammy, how was your NFL Week 14? Before you jump into that, quick recap of our top 5 contest winners in the NFL. Number 1, Achilles last week, 7-0. Number 2, Gaucho Jake. Number 3, To the Nines. Number 4, Go Bucks. And last but not least, rounding up the top 5, Kids to Feed. Sammy, how was your Week 14? How was the contest for you?
Yeah, so for me personally, I was middle of the road. I went 3-4. I did win my 6 and my 4 confidence, but overall, just a middle of the road. Again, I'm nowhere near the overall standings. I just have to find 1 week in the last 4 weeks to try and find a weekly prize. But on a positive note, of course, the Dallas Cowboys had a great win versus the Eagles at home. But Philly still owns. Philly still controls their own division destiny. They have an easier 4-game schedule than the Cowboys do. Eagles could easily go 4-0. Cowboys easily 3-1. Somehow the Cowboys need to go 4-1 and the Eagles 3-1 to win that division. But which sets up road games, which is fine. But obviously the Cowboys are much more dominant at home. But like Donnie said at the beginning, there's a lot of diversity up top, a lot of teams that have a chance. The Bears have a 1% chance. The Jets might be lingering there. The Giants have won 3 in a row. You have DeVito and you have Zach Wilson that have been AFC and NFC Players of the Week. Who put that in their bingo card for 2023?
Yeah, really. Pipe, how was your Week 14 in the NFL?
It wasn't good, man. I did like 2 and 4. I had a few totals go down, probably the low ones, if I remember right. And, we lost on that Atlanta Falcons there, Sammy.
Yep.
And I won the spread on Cleveland and the Denver under.
Well, good luck this week, Pipe. Hopefully you can turn that around. Donnie, how was your Week 14?
Yeah, contest for me, 3-4 overall. The big swing game for me was the Atlanta Falcons. Well, they came up late, scored that touchdown to get the 1-point lead, had the 2-point conversion. Like, boom, we're going to be in here for another solid week. So that went down. So I lost a little bit, dropped back from number 2 overall in the contest to number 3 overall. 4 weeks left. We'll see what happens. But it was a great prop week overall. We haven't been getting great quarterback play over the past couple weeks here. Totals have been staying lower for the most part, but we're seeing a primetime surge in overs here, which we're taking advantage of. But this weekend, again, it might be looking at more running backs than actual quarterbacks here. That's really been a nice key for me, but it was a good week overall. 3-4 in the contest. Hopefully I can swing that around this week.
All right. Hopefully so, Donnie. Sammy, how's that? How's the full season looking in the contest? Who's up there on the leaderboard?
Yeah, just like Donnie mentioned, there is some separation, and it's going to be tough to beat the top guy, Daniel SP. He's got a 16-point lead, which is almost a full week's worth of points.
Wow.
So with 4 weeks to go, so he's got a strong advantage up top. You got Red Right Red at second place, and then Mr. Donnie at third place, 6 points behind second
All
place.
right.
Donnie is 4 points ahead of fourth place Subaru, and fifth place Big J at 253. So 28 points separate 1 through 5, but 16 points separate first and second. So big lead for Daniel SP.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And speaking of contests, guys, this Saturday, next at returning will be poker, guys. I know you guys, Donnie,
Christmas
Sammy, you
poker.
guys are very excited for poker. Poker season number 5 will be returning next Saturday, guys. So make sure you check the thread for all the details on that. Make sure you get in and get those baller coins. But Pipe, how was your college football last week? What do you have? Did you hopefully you made a profit there?
I think if I believe it was Sammy talking about it, that Navy game by the hook.
Right,
Landed at 28. And it's pretty crazy, right? How Vegas gets it so right. You win by the hook or you lose by the hook because the closing line was 27.5. So if you got caught and were late to the party, you took that L. But yeah, that was it.
Sammy, how was your week?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the story of the weekend. What a crazy over-under, what a crazy finish. That game had 10 points with 5 minutes to go, defensive touchdown, and then, just a touchdown down the field. Look at those offenses turning, with 5 minutes to go. And then the miss at the half-yard line, and I said it in my head watching it, as a gambler, you're 3 plays ahead. You know what the next play is going to be, and then you know how you're going to lose or you're going to win in that next play. So as soon as 3rd and goal hit and they got stopped at the 1 yard line, I said it's going to be a QB sneak, and no matter what, if he misses it, they're going to get a safety just to run out the clock because they're up by, I think they're up by 7, so that would have put them up by 5, so it didn't matter. The gambler in you wants to say, throw the ball away, but there's no use. They don't want an intentional grounding, which would have been a safety anyway. So it's so funny, especially with the Super Bowl squares coming up. You're always 3 plays, 4 plays, 5 plays in advance to know how you're going to win a bet, how you're going to lose a bet, or how the odds are going to go against you. But that game was a gambler's worst nightmare or a gambler's best nightmare, depending on, like Pipe said, where you bought that number.
Exactly.
Yeah, sometimes we get the breaks, right, guys?
Yeah, it's nice to be on the right side sometimes.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, it seems like most of us are on the wrong side rather than the right side.
Well, that's what makes us degenerates.
That's been my week.
Speaking of the right side, Donnie, how was the Army-Navy game for you?
Yeah, I actually thought Navy was the side there, plus 2.5. And it's crazy how right down to the last play, the last yard line really determined it because it was an 8-point game. Score a touchdown there at that point. You're going for 2. Whether you get it or not, it doesn't matter. You would have covered if it was the Navy side. And also, I think most people played that game correctly on the total. If you were betting under, you were taking the 28.5s and the 28s. I doubt anybody got in late and was like, you know what, 27.5 sounds perfect here. Shame on you if you did that because those 28s were out there at least all week long, but it was entertaining all the way through. I always get a kick out of the Army-Navy game. It's like a bad 1985 high school football game, but you're always there just to watch it for the pageantry more than the actual, competition itself.
Right, exactly. Well, speaking of competition, speaking of contests, guys, coming back tomorrow, Streak of Fortune. So make sure you follow us on Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it. Same thing. Make sure you follow us on there. Get your picks in. Streak of Fortune. Have a chance at a free $500 for 5 straight picks in a row. Sammy, Donnie, I know you guys are very involved in that.
Love it.
And you're excited to see that each and every week. How was it for you last week with that, Sam?
2 straight weeks, and I've lost 2 straight Thursday night footballs. I think last week I went with the under, and that game went over by halftime. So that was an embarrassing loss compared to 2 weeks ago where I think I had Dallas versus Seattle, and it was close, but they didn't cover the spread. But hey, it is what it is. That's the best part about a contest is that it resets every week. It's free to enter. You don't lose anything. So what are you waiting for? Sign up. I will say that the signups have been substantially larger than they have been in weeks past. I see every week when they post the day 2 who has a chance, and in weeks past or in months past, it's been 3, 4, 5 names. There's double-digit names every week that are competing. So it's definitely good to see some winners.
Yes, definitely. Awesome to see. Donnie, how was it for you?
Yeah, me and Sam twins in that just took the under third. I was like, I'm going to watch a
Right.
football game that nobody's going to move it. And you were over by the half. So said and done there. That's 2 straight weeks for me as well in the first day. But again, it's better maybe to lose out in the first night than get your heart broken on days 4 and 5. But new week's coming up here. We'll see if we can do it. It's a lot tougher here in NBA, NFL season than it is Major League Baseball season. So we'll see if that goes through. But by far, it's my favorite competition/contest that we do here at BMR. So I enjoy it.
Yes, it definitely is. And Donnie, I agree with you there. I would personally rather lose on the first day or two than
Yeah.
make it to 4 or 5 and
Mhm.
suffer that heartbreak.
It's true. It's very true there. Yep. We'll see what we can do this weekend. Turn around that magic for Christmas. Still time to get some extra Christmas present money here, no doubt.
Yes, there is. And speaking of turning it around, speaking of this weekend, Sammy, we got 7 bowl games on tap for Saturday. Who do you like this weekend going into the bowl game season?
Yeah, it's really tough when it comes to the college bowl game schedule. 61 games, I believe, on the college bowl schedule. And I think half of them have NIL movements. The quarterback have transferred. The portal's opened up. Who's playing? Who's not playing? When it comes to the first week of bowl games, I typically tend to not really play as much action-wise, especially the last few years. I'll typically wait for more of the top 10, top 20, top bowl games that actually matter to the teams, to the players, rather than play some of these smaller conference or the smaller bowl games. So for me, no action this coming weekend. I'll be focusing more on NFL, 3 games on Saturday. So interested and excited for that card.
All right, Donnie, what do you like what do you like for these 7 bowl games on Saturday?
Yeah, it's a bowl. And again, I'm hoping this. I've been railing on bowl season for about a decade now. When I was growing up as a kid in the 80s and 90s, bowl season was great. Everybody took it seriously, and those games actually mattered. These games don't
Right.
matter at all. Outside the college football playoff, like you're handicapping games based on teams wanting to win and play, 20 plus guys in the portal. Who's playing quarterback? Oh, I thought this guy was the starter. No, actually, you're going with the 4th overall player because 2 guys transferred, one doesn't feel like playing, and the starter actually left for the NFL. One of those games that really fits an interesting criteria this weekend is UCLA and Boise on Saturday night. Let's take a look at UCLA. Chip Kelly, there were rumors that he was going to get fired at the end of the season. He's still there right now. They lost their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. And in bowl season, what do you get excited for? A fun matchup for you. UCLA is in a Power 5 conference. You're going to play Boise State. So right away, the motivation factor isn't there. And number 2, what do you usually like as a bowl game? Hey, you're the Minnesota Golden Gophers. You're going to play a game in the Bahamas or South Beach, somewhere in Texas or Southern California. You get excited for that. UCLA is playing a bowl game. Where? In Los Angeles. I mean, what gives here for UCLA? Give me Boise State plus the points here.
All right, good luck with that, Donnie. Pipe, what do you got for college football for the bowl games?
I like that play, Donnie. I like that.
Yeah.
You're getting 4 there. That's a good number too.
Yep.
I'm looking at that Jackson State, Louisiana Lafayette. I like it under 59.5. I feel that's a little too high. And then I'm going down to the Miami, Ohio, Appalachian State. That's at 44.5. Good number for me there. I'm going under on that also. And then I like that Boise. I think that Boise wins. And 49.5 we're getting. What's not to like? I mean, that's a good number for me. And then the other 2 on Monday night, December 18th, I like under 55, Western Kentucky and Old Dominion. And then Tuesday, UTSA against Marshall, also under 52.5. So I'm riding them unders.
I love it. Pipe hits unders, man. Love it. Love it. Because most of us like, hey, we like to bet the overs. It's fun to cheer on. Pipe's like, just give me that number. I'll turn it off, and I'll have a great time watching 3 and out all night long. I like it, Pipe.
Thank you, man.
Good luck with those, Pipe. And Sammy, let's jump back over to NBA real quick for a minute. Draymond Green, it's rumored he's going to get about 10 games for his, flagrant foul. What do you think here? You think it should be more? You think it should be less? I mean, he's just a big cancer. It seems like he's always having issues.
Yeah, I definitely think 10 games is a little bit too lenient, especially based on him having a 5-game suspension a month ago for choking out Rudy Gobert, which could have been, for him starting COVID a few years ago. That may have been retribution for that. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole compilation of him knocking out teammates, knocking out players, choking players on the court. So he's known as the bad boy. He takes that image to heart. I think he should be in the UFC at this point. I think at least he's got to get 20 games. Maybe even, I don't even know if they could take away pay. I don't know if that's actually a variable that would matter to him, but it seems
probably not.
Yeah, it seems like no punishment is enough for him. So you got to hit him with something that's impactful and meaningful to maybe get him to stop. It's kind of getting ridiculous at this point.
It is, but that's the big question. Where is that sweet spot? How many games are you going to suspend the guy where he's finally going to shape up and learn his lesson? Donnie, what do you think?
Yeah, if you're a habitual line crosser like he is, like the penalties, there is no book for this. Like I'm like, okay, you did it once, you get one game, you did it twice, you get a one more game. I'm like, no, you're repeatedly doing this. You got to lay down the law at this point. Like in everyday life, let's just say you got stuff, you're in trouble with the law. You show up in front of the judge, he goes, hey man, you got a clean slate here. Look, I don't want, look, I'm going to give you a slap on the wrist. Just make sure you do me a favor. Don't show up in my courtroom again. Well, that same judge, if you show up and he looks down and goes, this is the third time you've been on my desk in the last 6 months. I'm going to show you what the deal is. You head off for a maximum penalty at that point. And we're not looking, because hear me out on this too. If Draymond Green whips and punches Nurkic and knocks him to the ground and the bench is clear, that's 50 games for Draymond because the melee is intact. They're actually lucky the Phoenix Suns didn't just get crazy and lose it, because that would have been a free piece to be like, you know what? We could do damage here. Some of our guys will get 3, 4, and 5 game suspensions, but Draymond Green's going to get 50 if this is a whole big ruckus here. They're lucky that Nurkic can get off the court and just start swinging crazy at Draymond Green. It could have been way worse, but the NBA's got to show that. And also, Draymond Green post-game press conference saying repeatedly, like, hey, man, I didn't mean to hit him. Who actually has good enough aim to like actually hit somebody square in the jaw if they don't mean it? When he turned right around, saw him blast, and was like, "Oh, I didn't mean that." Well, what did you actually mean to do?
Exactly. Pipe, what do you think?
I think he's overdue. I mean, we've seen what he does. How can he said something about, oh, I got to be perfect to do a 360. Well, kind of like Donnie said, yeah, he meant it. He meant it, and we know it.
Clearly so. I mean, history does repeat itself, so it was obviously intentional. But
Absolutely.
jumping over to a little bit of baseball news, Sammy, Ohtani, 10-year, $700 million contract with the
Wow.
Dodgers. I know a lot of that has been deferred. What do you think here? I mean, you think it was a good move deferring it?
Yeah, I mean, in reference to the deferment is the most interesting part of this conversation. It's not necessarily the contract and the money. I don't think anyone really, I'm someone that says that every player, every athlete is overpaid. I think a lot of people agree. No one is necessarily worth that much money, yada, yada. But honestly, Ohtani's contract is like worth it. He's a 2-time MVP, and he's a guy that throws the ball, and he's a guy that hits the ball, and he's an MVP caliber and a Cy Young at both positions. So if anyone in any sport is worth it, this guy at least is putting on, playing both positions and doing more for a team than anyone really does on any other sport. But the deferment is very interesting, reading the rules for the state, or if he doesn't retire in the state and goes and defers the state elsewhere, then the taxes are different because California hits you at like 50%. So the deferment is more interesting than the actual dollar amount, but he's definitely worth it. The Dodgers are the notorious first round team, so they definitely have to win 2 or 3 World Series in the next 5 years, or everyone's going to call it the biggest bust contract. So we'll see.
Exactly. Donnie, what do you think?
For me, he's not worth it on the field for $700 million. Nobody is that, but he's worth it to the Dodgers because of the global market appeal. They'll actually make money, the Dodgers, and be profitable on a $700 million contract, as crazy as that sounds, because of the tickets are going to sell, the merchandise, and also that global worldwide market where you are going to get the Asian market investing into the Dodgers with signage, with buying, with rights, and all that stuff. But here's what the problem is going to be. Major League Baseball is going to be headed out for a lockout soon. And it's not because the Major League Baseball Players Union is upset and they want more money. And not really because most of the ownership groups in Major League Baseball aren't upset with that contract. But I'll tell you where it does circumvent. And granted, I love this. The bottom of Major League Baseball, let's just say the bottom 5 teams who don't try to win at all. Let's just say it's the Miami Marlins, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we'll go out to the Oakland Athletics. You know why they love big contract money here? Because that luxury tax kicks in and they get money directly from that. So now what the Los Angeles Dodgers is, they completely circumvented that. This is supposed to be a 10-year, $700 million deal, which is $70 million a year, which goes against the books. The deferment from that 10 years where it's only $20 million paid out, the true valuation now of that contract is only just above $40 million. Those are the teams that are going to be upset, but rightfully so. If you're a Major League Baseball owner and your job is to win on the field, and you go, I don't care about winning at all, just keep my payroll as low as possible so I get the welfare checks from the big ball clubs, that should end there. But it's a terrible contract for baseball. And also, I thought it would have been great. Ohtani comes to the Eastern time zone where most of the country can enjoy him for 120 plus games. He goes back to LA where 120 games in that West, Pacific time zone. I'm fast asleep by the time Ohtani even sees his first at bat, which is crazy. If he was in that Eastern time zone in Toronto, playing Boston, playing the New York Yankees, playing the Baltimore Orioles, the Tampa Bay Rays, it would have been unbelievable theater and great for baseball. Good for the Dodgers fans, but good for baseball? Absolutely not.
Right. Pike, what do you think?
I actually, I had a feeling he was going to go to either one of those two teams. I mean, I thought maybe Yankees, but once they got Juan Soto, I knew, no, they're not going to do that.
Right.
I think he's worth it. I mean, he's a two-way player. We haven't seen nobody like him, and well, as long as I can remember. And yeah, he pitches, he hits. Well, I guess the Dodgers had the bag to give to him.
Right, and I guess we will wait and see what happens. It'd be very interesting to see what happens with him this upcoming season. But guys, new Follower Friday giveaway. So starting every Friday on X, on Twitter, about 1:30, we're going to be posting. Make sure you like, follow, retweet. Chance to win $50 in cold hard cash, guys. So who does not like cold hard cash? So make sure you get on X, get on Twitter, follow us on there every Friday, and get yourself a chance. Get yourself a chance for some cash. But Sammy, week 15 is upon us. What do you got for your 7? Who do you like this upcoming weekend in the NFL?
Yeah, it's exciting because we're starting to get Saturday games. So you got one game tomorrow, which is backup quarterback versus backup quarterback, another barn burner. But like Donnie mentioned, maybe stay away from the under because the overs have been hitting on the national TV games with that trend starting so low of being on the unders. But then you got 3 Saturday games. On Saturday, I do like the Colts over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Colts laying 2.5 at home. And then in the nightcap, Denver Broncos, winners of 7 out of their last 8 games. And plus 4.5 at home to Detroit. Detroit, you never know which week they're going to be, showing up and which week they're not going to be showing up. And then to the Sunday slate, I like the Jets plus 9.5 against Miami. Miami historically blew a 14-point lead with 5 minutes or 3 minutes to go on Monday night. That was an embarrassing loss. But the Jets defensively, definitely are going to hold Miami offense. Tyreek Hill being questionable, obviously their biggest weapon. So definitely like the Jets. I like the Bears plus 3.5 against Cleveland. I like Dallas, of course, to beat Buffalo. Important matchup there. And then the Rams 6.5 over Washington.
All right, good luck with those, Sammy. You got your 7 done?
You talking to me?
Yeah, your 7.
I just announced them.
Oh, you just okay. You didn't give an order, so I didn't know. You didn't give an order, so I didn't know.
No. In reference to the order, I figured that out. Donnie and I talk about it every week. We figured that out throughout the next couple of days as far as final live movements, where the contest line is versus where the real line is. Sometimes that's a variable. But right now, I just have my matchups on paper, and then I figure out the numbers later.
All right. Good luck with those, Sammy. Donnie, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm in line with a lot of Sammy's plays here, too. I like the Colts minus 2.5. It's not to say that we all love the Colts offense. It's sensational. They should win going away. But it's what the Pittsburgh Steelers can't do. They're terrible in offense. Mitchell Trubisky just can't take the guy. I'm going to back Indianapolis. I'm also going to take the Denver Broncos, who are red hot right now, getting the 4.5 points versus Detroit. Detroit is a very different team, home and away. They're home in this one. It'll be a tough game, but both of these teams jockeying for a playoff position. I'll take the points with the Denver Broncos. I'm also going to take Tommy Cutlets here, getting 5.5 from the New Orleans Saints. I've a ticket in my pocket for the Saints to win the division. So technically I'm rooting for the Saints, but I can't lay 5.5 points here. The Giants do one thing well, not turning the football over with Tommy DeVito, playing decent defense here. And also, what have we gotten out of the New Orleans Saints? Not much on offense. I think the Giants can keep it close. I'm going to take Tennessee at home against Houston. Why? Because I don't know if the quarterback CJ Stroud is going to show up this Sunday, and that could be big. Tennessee also energized by beating the Miami Dolphins and still technically in a playoff run. I think they'll play well at home enough to win by a field goal against Houston. I'm also going to take the New York Jets, getting 9.5 from the Miami Dolphins. The Jets with Zach Wilson last week were a competent football team. That's all I'm looking for here. Yeah, the Jets might lose this football game, but I'm not passing up close to double digits here from a division rival here. I'm going to take the Jets in that game, but I'm going to go opposite you, Sammy. I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. I'm laying the 2.5. Orchard Park, going to be on fire on Sunday. That's going to be a fun game to watch either way. By the way, decent weather conditions for this year in Buffalo. This season in Buffalo, 50 degrees, light winds, no rain in the forecast. We should get a pretty eventful game. And also, I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars at home with Trevor Lawrence being a little bit healthier. I love the Baltimore Ravens. I bet them to win the Super Bowl. This is a tough spot this week, and that hook is big. I'll take the 3.5.
All right, good luck with those, Donnie. Pipe, what do you got in the NFL this weekend? Who do you like?
I'm on a couple that you guys are on. I got the Raiders. I mean, did you see that game 3-0? I can't remember. I saw a
Brutal.
live total of 6.5 in that game, and I'm
Brutal.
like, I had to wipe my eyes. But yeah, I think the Raiders win there. I'm not going to do the spread. I'm going to do the money line on them. And then I'm not going to do the spread on the Colts. I like them on the money line. And then I look for that Bears Cleveland game to be under 37.5. I kind of like the Bears, like Donnie said. But I'm going to go with that total. And then I'm jumping down to the Green Bay game under 42 with Tampa. I like that under also, and I'm going to continue. And Donnie, it looks like me and you are on the same one. I love Buffalo this week. Like, that line is suspect. Why is it 2.5? I bet you that game goes to 3 by game time. And then the last one I like is the Jags under 42.5. I think if Lawrence can pull this out, and the Ravens, I don't know, 3 just doesn't look right to me. So I'm going with that total also under.
There you go.
All right, good luck with those, Pipe. And it's awesome to see a lot of us on the same sides of these games, guys. So if you're paying attention, follow those picks that we're all on the same side of, because there's a reason that everyone likes those picks.
That's
Now,
right.
guys, last but certainly not least, if you want some free baller coins, guys, make sure you follow us on X at BMR Reviews, or follow us on Instagram at BMR_review. PM BM Margini, PM myself, PM somebody. Let us know you're following, and we will get you some baller coins. But best of luck with all the college football action, all the NFL action, and all the NBA action this coming week, guys. And we'll see you on the forum.
See ya.